how you doing?
Did you watch the Pro Bowl?
No, I don't do Pro Bowls. I'm sorry.
The fake football game?
It's a waste of time, effort, and money. People actually pay to see that garbage?
They scored more points than ever before.
Why not? Nobody's playing defense.
Almost 60 points for the AFC. I think it was like 59-31 or something crazy, 41. Absolutely crazy.
A 100-point game.
A 100-point game.
They played that in Hawaii?
They play in Hawaii. That's why everybody goes. It's Hawaii.
That's the only reason they go.
Right. You're right. Hawaii.
It's good enough for the president. I'll go.
Exactly. What did you do this weekend, Don?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I took my wife to the grocery store twice.
There was a song that says absolutely nothing.
That's right. That's a fact.
Play it again. What's that song?
War,
yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
You got that right. Absolutely
My
nothing.
weekend sucked too, Don.
Again?
Again, man. It sucked. Too much. I got too much work to do. There's just, it's just, ugh.
Was it that bad?
True story.
I'm listening.
True story. I went home Friday night at 6 o'clock. I laid down on the bed, and I woke up at 9 a.m. the next morning.
No, you didn't.
I slept 15 hours.
Straight through?
Straight through.
Nobody bothered you?
15 hours.
Goodness.
I've never slept 15 hours back to back in my entire life.
Oh, that's what's wrong with you this
You know
morning.
what that means, don't you?
What? Too much sleep?
No, that means that I needed some sleep.
Is that what
your
it
body
meant?
needed
My
it.
body said, dude, we're going to sleep.
Your brain probably told your body, look, we're going to sleep, ain't going to wake up.
And it was a perfect time, actually, too, from Friday evening to Friday morning at 9 or Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. But I had meetings over the weekend that I had to do. I had legal work. I had my office was spread out in the living room everywhere. I cleaned that up this morning. I did get 2 hours of sleep today.
Well, that's good.
3:30 to 5:30. So I'm well rested.
Well, I got to ask you, you go barbecue tomorrow? It'll be 60 degrees.
It's going to be 60 degrees.
60 degrees. Barbecue?
I'm not going to barbecue.
Come on. Barbecue,
I'm not going to
baby.
barbecue.
I could come get a rib from you?
No. Today in history, Sensible Don, in 1798, a brawl broke out in the U.S. House of Representatives in Philadelphia as Matthew Lyon of Vermont spat in the face of Roger Griswold of Connecticut. That's Clark Griswold, played by Chevy Chase's great-great-grandfather. He didn't take it. The ironclad USS Monitor was launched in Greenpoint, New York during the Civil War. President FDR was born today. And, of course, Sarah put how old he is. He's 129.
Right? Birthday.
Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. It's kind of funny that Hitler, it's almost like you're not allowed to mention Hitler, compare anybody to Hitler. Hitler's kind of like off. Isn't that weird? Everybody gets nervous now when you say the name Hitler.
Why? Remember when Marge Schott was saying all that about Hitler back in the day, and everyone, oh, my gosh, you need sensitivity training.
Right.
But Stalin was much worse than Hitler.
He murdered more people.
A whole bunch more.
1948, Indian political and spiritual leader Gandhi, 78, was shot in New Delhi. You know what? That's a hell of a thing to live to be 78 and die getting shot.
Going to a prayer.
Today's birthdays, Christian Bale, Batman, 37. Phil Collins, 60. I don't like his music. You like his music?
I like his
I
music.
can't stand his
He got a little
music.
soul in it.
Dick, don't let me have a shotgun. Cheney is 70. He has a heart attack every month and he still lives.
He's a mechanical
Although
man.
he looks like death worn over lately.
He's not breathing.
He's carrying around like an artificial heart on a box or something.
Right.
All the liberals are trying to unplug it. Give him a defective battery.
Poor Cheney.
Gene, I play a tough guy, Hackman, 81.
Wonderful
Wow.
actor.
Yep.
Wonderful actor.
And let me see, what else do we have here of miscellaneous nature as we begin our show today, as we get rolling on a Monday. How about a story in history? Let's do a story. In the summer of 1919, this is a good story, the U.S. Army organized a coast-to-coast exhibition of military vehicles to show off its equipment and demonstrate the need for better roads. More than half of the trip was on dirt roads that were little better than trails. Broken down bridges had to be repaired along the way. Soldiers had to get out to dig out trucks in the mud. In the end, it took 81 vehicles of the Transcontinental Motor Convoy 62 days to cross the country.
When they did
62 days, Don.
Did better with a wagon train, wouldn't they?
One young Army officer accompanied the mission, partly as a lark and partly to learn was named Dwight Eisenhower.
Right deep.
And the long, hard trip convinced him that better roads was an important national priority. That conviction was strengthened by experience as Supreme Allied Commander in Europe. The old convoy had started me thinking about good two-lane highways, but Germany had made me see the wisdom of broader ribbons across the land. And so it was 35 years after the convoy struggled across the nation, President Eisenhower took up the cause of the modern interstate highway system.
So he learned something from Hitler.
No.
Yes, he did. It was Hitler's idea.
Don't compare Hitler to Eisenhower. You're going to get fired.
Probably would. That's a good comparison.
How about some humor? A lawyer's dog running around town unleashed, headed for a butcher shop and stole a roast. The butcher went to the lawyer's office and asked, if a dog running unleashed steals a piece of meat from my store, do I have a right to demand payment for the meat from the dog's owner? The lawyer answered, absolutely. Then you owe me $8.50. Your dog was loose and stole a roast from me today. The lawyer, without a word, wrote the butcher a check for $8.50. The butcher left feeling like he had nailed the lawyer. 3 days later, the butcher found a bill from the lawyer, $100 due for consultation.
Perfect.
Taught that butcher a lesson. Taught that butcher a lesson.
Yeah, that's a joke, son. Don't you get it?
That's a joke. Shakespeare for today and a false quarrel. There is no true valor. Sensible Don and a false quarrel. By the way, you know how my wife sanctions me?
Again?
You know I've told you, you get the silent treatment?
Yes.
You know how also she sanctioned me this weekend?
What else did she do?
She painted her toes black.
No, she didn't.
You know how I am about nail polish, right?
Yes, I know. She knows too.
Toenails painted black.
She knows how to get under your skin, doesn't she?
Do you believe that?
I believe it. Yes, I do believe it. How do you stay in so much trouble? How do you stay in so much trouble?
I was thinking about filing for divorce today.
It won't work.
Black toenail polish. Yeah. The word of the day is chide.
Chive.
To voice disapproval.
Okay. How do you put that with the
I don't know.
I like to voice disapproval on my baked potato.
I like the disapproval of black toenail polish.
Chive.
Let's Jack Wagon some people up here. We're going to Jack Wagon up all super PACs, Don.
Oh, absolutely.
All super PACs. We're also going to jack up Goldman Sachs. Guess who handles Bain's work? Guess who monitors and manages Mitt Romney's $250 million?
And that would be?
Goldman Sachs.
Guess what?
They're everywhere. Every single president. George Bush, Goldman Sachs. Bill Clinton, Goldman Sachs.
Let me handle your money. I'm making this.
Barack Obama, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs. They rule the world.
What about you, Bulldog?
Not me. We have some oracles we have to do. First, Greg Cook, rest in peace. He passed away after our show. We didn't know. Representative Allen West, I'm going to get to that. Herman Cain for endorsing Newt. Governor Walker in Wisconsin. So how do you like that? We have a bunch of oracles today, and some of those will be revealed as we do our show today, Sensible Don.
Now, Greg Cook being 65 surprised me.
Yeah,
really,
Greg Cook.
The age surprised
what could have been.
Buck Buchanan and Bobby Bell tore his arm out of the socket.
Sensible Don, do you know what was significant about the year 1881 in our history?
The railroad? No railroad?
3 presidents were president in 1881.
In 1 year?
Hayes, when he left office, Garfield as he came in, and Arthur when Garfield was assassinated.
In 1 year?
We had 3 presidents all in 1881.
And see, that's something that slipped away from me.
Here's some irony for you. Guess who hated? I mean, just hated the sight of blood so bad it made him physically sick.
And that would be?
Ulysses S. Grant.
Really?
It made him physically sick.
Bloody Grant?
The great general?
Yeah. So everybody was dying. He wasn't looking.
He just sent him out to die.
He wasn't looking. And when he ran for president, his slogan was, "Let us have peace."
Yeah, right.
In the early 1980s, South Dakota was the only state, Sensible Don, who refused federal dollars for 55 miles per hour speed limit. They actually sued and lost in the U.S. Supreme Court, where the U.S. Supreme Court said it was legal bribery for the federal government to have conditions upon their money.
How can you have legal bribery? And it's
I
the
don't know, but you
people's
can.
money.
Sensible Don, here's another trivia question for you. Who was the richest president in the history? Consider the richest president in our history.
That's a good question. Have no idea.
George Washington. In today's dollars and everything else, 60,000 acres.
Wait a minute. George got his money from his old lady.
60,000 acres.
He didn't own anything.
When we return, I'm going to tell you who all the other rich presidents were, and we'll have pop culture. I don't feel like doing the show today, Sensible Don. Will you do it for me?
No problem.
On Real Talk 1160.
And remember, Real Talk 1160 is on Facebook. You can keep tabs of your favorite talk hosts and listen to live streaming. Log on to facebook.com/Real Talk 1160 and join in. And now back to the Bulldog.
This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. Guess what, Sensible Don?
I'm listening.
I've said this on the air because it's not liable to say it. I've sued this one spine doctor. His name is Durrani 5 times. And I'm reviewing 7 other cases that I'm going to be filing. And I meet with another one today.
He's a surgeon?
He's a surgeon. And as a public interest announcement, you might want to avoid this guy.
Yes.
You know, this is kind of a common theme. A lot of my clients, they get a spine surgery done. Then they go to another doctor, and the other doctor looks at the films and says, "Why did you have surgery?" Like, oops.
Is there a way to check doctors and see if they have a lot of suits against them?
Check at Hamilton County Common Police Court to see if the Bulldogs sued them 10 times.
That is solving it.
You may not want to go to them. The other richest presidents, Herbert Hoover, Thomas Jefferson, who died bankrupt. I don't get that one. JFK, Andrew Jackson, Theodore Roosevelt, Zachary Taylor, FDR, Lyndon Johnson, James Madison. You know what I was thinking? Maybe it's okay that Romney's filthy rich. Maybe filthy rich presidents do a good job.
Why not? They don't have anything to lose or gain. And tell me this. Wasn't Thomas Jefferson, he was one of the first celebrities and president to be worth more dead than alive.
Yes.
And that's
Now, how's that?
Do you know his he donated to the Smithsonian all of his books.
right.
In fact, his books were the beginning of the Smithsonian.
But the Monticello and his estate.
Yeah, he died. He died broke.
Yeah, but the tours
Died
made him
broke.
His family's a rich man now.
You ready for some pop culture
I'm
this
waiting.
early morning?
I'm waiting.
Before we get into some serious things.
Yeah.
The Screen Actors Guild Awards last night, and I don't know how to say this guy's name. John Dujardin. Did I say that right? That French dude?
Close enough.
He won the Best Actor for The Artist. Viola Davis for The Help, Best Actor. Supporting Actor Christopher Plummer in The Beginners. And Supporting Actress Octavia Spencer for The Help. Now, my wife and I saw at the Esquire Movie Theater Saturday, The Artist. And it was a wonderful movie. This is the silent movie.
Right.
And I can say right now it will win the Best Picture. And John Dujardin will be Best Actor. And I've seen them all.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, The Actor is the best, or The Artist is the best movie of the year.
It's silent throughout.
Silent throughout. Well, there's one little bit at the end that's kind of cool that's not silent.
But you had a piano playing when they were showing the movie?
Yeah,
and
they
all?
had music.
Oh.
But I tell you right now, it's a great movie. I had actually a pretty good Saturday the more I think about it. We went to the St. Teresa's Treasure Trove where she likes to do her quilt shopping, like fabric. And I sat outside in my truck and talked to that agent from out in L.A., which went pretty good. I'm supposed to put some things together. They said to put together like bits of the radio show, but to edit out UNTC.
Solve that problem.
They said we don't want those other two guys, to show up on the tape.
Just the Bulldog.
I'm just teasing
No,
you.
you're not.
I'm just teasing you. They didn't say that.
My feelings.
Just because I'm in a bad mood doesn't mean I need to dog you two.
Why not?
In fact, I kind of wish you always would take over. Can you just take over today's show so I can leave?
I'll have to call Alex. No.
Rest in peace, Dick Tufeld, age 85. Do you all know who Dick Tufeld is?
Never heard of that one.
I pull these things out of the New York Times Sunday when I find somebody interesting. He was the voice. TC will appreciate this. He was the voice of the robot in Lost in Space.
Yeah,
See, I knew TC would remember. Danger,
Will
danger.
Robinson. This
Duke
does not compute.
There you go, Duke Tufeld. I thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Now, Sensible Don, I'm going to make everybody out there who's feeling bad today, like me, feel better.
Okay,
I'm going to read a list of names.
Somebody's grouchy
I'm going to read a list of names. Demi Moore, Heather Locklear, Lindsay Lohan, Charlie Sheen, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tiger Woods, and Wesley Snipes. Now, don't you feel better?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, no doubt
point.
about it.
These people are rich and famous, and they're miserable.
Oh, miserable.
Their lives are miserable.
Can you
That's better
believe
than a
Wesley-
feel-good song.
That's better than a feel-good song.
Wesley Snipes believing somebody told
Especially
him
Demi Moore and Heather Locklear.
Oh.
Good golly.
she don't want to get old.
Demi Moore, by the way, was smoking spice, apparently.
Spice.
Yeah.
What's spice?
In the 911 tape, they're calling her Demi. You know, don't these jackwagons realize, why don't they call her Barb? Why do they have to say Demi? Duh! I mean, aren't they smart enough? 911 tapes are public. All of my kids and my wife are under strict orders. If something happens to me, they just call up and say, Bob is hurt.
Alias.
I'm Bob.
Yeah, have to be. Because it's on tape.
It'll be on 5/9/12/19.
Oh.
What did Bulldog do? He sniffed glue. The Bulldog was sniffing glue. I just want everybody to know I did not sniff glue.
You don't do glue.
HBO show, the new HBO show, Luck, rhymes with Chuck, was terrible. I couldn't even find it. That's the one with Dustin Hoffman,
Yeah.
Nick Nolte.
Is it that bad?
It was that bad.
It's good acting.
Now, before we move on to local and regional news, I don't know why. My wife is addicted to Pinterest. You ever hear of Pinterest?
Never
This is
heard
this
of
thing that these women, they just scroll through all day long, all night long. But it's better than being on Facebook, trust me, Pinterest.
Pinterest.
And she gave me one of these, and I thought to myself, that's a good one. It's a deep thought. Are you ready for a deep thought to ponder?
I'm listening.
We could do a whole show about this thought. Sensible Don, do you realize that the devil was once an angel?
I realize that. Got cast out. We messed up.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting that even the devil was once an angel?
Got sanctioned.
You know what that means, don't you?
Yes.
That angels can become devils.
They could drop too. Fallen angel. You heard that before?
Just something to ponder. Now, I had a meeting with my program director, Mr. Rob Williams.
Okay.
And,
All right.
we were discussing about the local and regional topics. And you know what I told him? I said, I'm all for local and regional topics as long as they're not boring. I don't like boring.
Right.
Now, I guess a casino collapsing is not boring,
No.
which happened at the end of our show. But now it's kind of like old news.
It is old news.
I mean, everybody knows how it happened. By the way, the people that were on top, nobody was underneath it. I found out, what happened. When that thing collapsed, it went down slow 30 feet. So the people on top went down slow with it.
Like a
There's
slide
one
track.
guy apparently has got a bad back injury,
Right.
but everybody else apparently seems to be okay in the sense that they're going to heal up.
The thing is that it happened in
But
Cleveland.
if any
same
of you
thing.
need a lawyer,
Come on now. Give him a number.
because it's usually workers' comp, see? It's
Yes.
usually workers' comp if you're injured at work. But if you're injured as the result of somebody else, you can usually sue for personal injury too, like the Iron Worker Company.
Negligence.
Just a
will get
free
you
tip
somewhere.
out there if any of you are listening. The casino collapse. How about the city leave in the Inquirer yesterday? City leave taken in 2011. The city employs 5,771 full-time, what they called equivalents. 1,599 workers took 240 hours of paid leave, equal to 6 weeks for each 40-hour worker.
Goodness.
222 workers took equal of 10 weeks. 147 workers equal to 12 and a half weeks. People wonder why the public trust
Sector.
with public entities is just gone.
Man, when you're reading that story, your face turned beet red.
It's because it makes me mad.
I know, I can see it.
That's
me
your
mad.
money. That's your money.
Makes me mad. And more local news to satisfy Robert Williams. Rodney King, also known as Biz, is not going to seek re-election as chairman of the board when his term ends at the Bank of Kentucky. He just opened up an office here in downtown Cincinnati. He and R.C. Durr and Bob Zapp, the CEO, were kind of the founders behind the Bank of Kentucky. His son, John, I went to Latin school with him. and we were buddies. He was the worst basketball player on our team. Sorry, John, but you were. I remember one time he shot one like an half court and went over the backboard. He was a smart guy, but not very athletic. But John's my buddy. I just publicly dogged him.
Yes, you did.
There was also a story about St. Elizabeth Medical. I sound like the Northern Kentucky Report with T.C. Summers on Saturday mornings. You get this. St. E's employs, they got a monopoly. I actually filed a lawsuit against them on that, and federal judge tossed it, which I totally disagree with. They employ 7,300 people, making it the largest employer. $1 billion in revenue.
That's some serious money.
Well, they're the only hospital in Northern Kentucky now.
Serious money.
You either go there or you don't go anywhere.
Oh, you just leave out.
It's just the way it is.
Got to ask you though.
Ask me what.
When John gets give you a phone call and invite you to lunch, you know what it's for, don't you?
Yeah.
That's your breakup call.
You know, this is funny. He was the chairman of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. Gary Beatrice, who was my Latin school, Thomas More Law School buddy. He was the head of the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, all these people that I know, Sensible Don, are famous.
And all rich.
I went to high school, college, and law school with the people that rule this community, Sensible Don.
Well, you right up there.
Yep.
You probably got the most tickets of all of them.
I got the most sanctions of all of them.
Most sanctioned, most traffic.
When we return, we're going to do sports. How do you like that, Don?
Well,
you think that'll satisfy Robert Williams?
We got
There's some local sports news.
Local good sports. Your one Kentucky team almost.
Guess who's downstairs in the lobby?
Who?
Bobby Mackey.
He's supposed to be here at 7. Let's let him out in the cold on Real Talk 1160.
He really down there?
Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160.
Oh my God!
What?
Guess who's here?
Who?
Guess who's here? Well, what did we say, TC? We had a meeting with the, and this is going to be an exception in the rule. We had a meeting about we're a lot happier and we have fewer people in the studio. So what the hell happens? I forgot that I told this guy to come in today, and boy did I screw up because here we got too many people in the studio again.
Yeah, we welcome him with open arms.
But
Easier,
yeah,
right?
we welcome with open arms, but not really because we decided on Friday that we're a lot better when it's just us three. So now we got somebody in here that's just going to slow us down. Sensible Don.
You think you'll slow us down?
This guy's just going to slow us down.
He cannot slow us down. This is an extra-year-old man. He cannot slow us down.
We'll get out of the way quick. We'll just stay a little while.
Bobby Mackey.
How you doing?
How welcome do you feel right now?
Well, I think I can stand it.
How are you, buddy?
Doing great.
How's Bobby Mackey's?
Oh man, it's just.
Is the ghost still hanging out there?
That's what they say, but you can't prove it by me.
You still playing music there every week?
Every Friday and Saturday night. Been there 33 years, and it's every night seems like the first night.
Bobby, it sounds like something that I would do. I would buy a bar so some place would let me play music.
Yeah, well, I had my own style of country music, and I wanted to do it my way.
I mean, is it worth owning your own bar so you'd have a place to play your music?
Yes, absolutely.
By the way, I went down there. I guess it was a year or so ago. It was in a military event, and
yeah.
you guys are good. Your band's good.
Thank you very much.
You don't suck.
I'm proud of my guys. We play country music the way it's supposed to be.
Now, listen, what we do with our guests, we don't focus on you. We just do our show,
That's
and you
great.
feel free to chime in. Do you know anything about sports, Bobby Mackey?
Very little.
Well, that's okay. We'll ask you questions anyway.
If it's baseball, you try to hit the ball with the
with the bat. A.J. Green yesterday, his first catch in the NFL, Sensible Don, was a touchdown.
Which is good.
Yesterday, his first catch in the Pro Bowl, a touchdown. He had 2 catches for 42 yards, but he fumbled once.
He fumbled?
Andy Dalton finished 7 for 9 with 99 yards and 2 TDs, and the final score was AFC 59, NFC 41.
Close
Damn
game.
basketball score.
It was a close one, wasn't it?
The Heat took out Chicago 97-93. The Colts. Irsay claims there's still no decision on a quarterback. Can you imagine how much money they're going to have to spend on a quarterback if they keep Manning and Andrew Luck? That's a lot of money on a quarterback.
Most of the teams.
Now, do you like hockey, Bobby Mackey?
Yeah, I don't follow it, but I
Hockey
like to
is-
watch them fight.
Hockey is the last sport for the middle-sized white guy. All right? All-Star game. Now, I don't get this. I thought it'd be like East, West. The All-Star game was Chara 12, Albertson 9. I have no idea. What the hell does that mean? Does anybody in this room know what that means? I thought it was East, West, Canada, USA, Chara 12, Albertson 9. Who the hell does that mean? Do you know, TC?
Yeah, but if I told you, then it wouldn't,
you don't
ruin
know.
the surprise. Yeah, I don't have
College
no idea.
basketball yesterday, Ohio State 64, Michigan 49. Michigan's getting an inferiority complex with Ohio State sports. And did you see LeBron James jump over a Chicago Bull to dunk? He did. He jumped over him. I mean, standing straight up, he go over him. Don, over him.
Another highlight, huh?
The Super Bowl, the kickoff 6:20 p.m. Sunday, NBC. The Patriots by 3. Who do you think's going to win? Bobby Mackey?
Probably Giants.
I agree. Giants' defense is rolling. Their offense is rolling.
And they're consistent.
Yeah, Giants are going to win. Saturday college basketball, UK 74, LSU 50. Bobby Mackey, are you like me as a UK fan? You'd like to just go beat the hell out of Indiana because of that one shot. One shot! We were going to go undefeated this year. Now we're going to win a national championship and lose one game. And Indiana's going to go, we beat you. I hate the Hoosiers. What do you feel?
Well, I don't know. Since Bobby Knight left there, I don't pay much attention.
By the way, all you Indiana fans of Bulldog Nation, I love you. I just hate your Hoosiers. Rutgers 61, UC 54. Xavier beat somebody. It was only the Charlotte 49ers. I could have beat them 74-70. In college football, Isaiah Peed was the MVP from the Bearcats of the Senior Bowl. This is an outrage because J.K. Schaefer should have been.
This is excellent.
J.K. Schaefer should have been the MVP.
But that kid's excellent running back.
I know, but J.K. Schaefer should have been. I just want to tell you that. Are you ready for some legal news?
I'm listening.
Legal news?
He knows something about legal.
Bobby Mackey, do you know anything about the legal world?
A little bit, yeah. More than sports.
Stan Chesley had a victory.
Stan?
Judge Bartlett dismissed a case against him where he was accused of defrauding clients in a sexual abuse lawsuit.
Dismissed?
Now, this is funny. Have you ever been arrested, Bobby Mackey? You've been in a rough time.
No.
You never have been? Like, I know honky tonk, never got in a bar fight, got arrested?
Never. No.
I've never been arrested either. My kids are shocked, Bobby Mackey, that I've never been arrested.
I'm shocked.
Are you shocked?
Just from your attitude alone.
My attitude. It's like
You ain't ran into the right cop.
I've never been arrested.
I can't believe it.
Now I am against lifetime sentences. I say kill him or give him 20 years the most. It's stupid to give somebody a lifetime sentence. If you're going to give him a lifetime sentence, kill him.
Yeah, well,
I know that sounds harsh.
The sentence never seems to be what the sentence is.
Get this. The latest available figures from 2010 show that 8% of the prison population, 124,400 inmates, were 55 years and older compared to 3% in 95. It is a big problem taking care of all these geriatrics. It's costing the prison system a fortune, Bobby Mackey.
Yeah.
Let him out after 20 or kill him. I'm going to run for president one day on that platform. Hey.
We need you.
Here's going to be my simplified platform. I say work till you die. 20 years or kill him.
You think I can win? 6 weeks of paid vacation.
This is what happens when you wake up in a bad mood, Bobby Mackey. How messed up is it when prosecutors are scared? Did you hear this? They're going after all these hackers. They're called the Anonymous. By the way, if you're out there and you're a member of Anonymous, don't hack me. Anyway, they're trying to keep the prosecutor's identity secret so the hackers don't go after them. That's messed up.
That is.
The hackers are conquering the world.
Yeah.
Now, they're people you should just kill. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the legal news of the day. I know you enjoyed it. Now, a day in the life of the Bulldog. What do I have here? First off, Sensible Don. We got to get a comment of Sensible Don.
No, you want my comment.
Sensible Don, why did a bus crash into a news van to disrupt the Rock Gaming News Conference at the casino site. Were you driving that bus?
I was not
Who
on that
was
bus.
on the bus and who's responsible? Because I want to sue him. Rock Gaming has hired me to sue.
Absolutely.
So who
because
should I sue?
She made it clear to everybody that she had a job to do. You people need to get out my way. Move this van. If you don't move it, I'll run over it. Solve that problem.
Did you see that, Bobby Mackey?
No, I didn't see that.
A bus ran to the news van. I mean, just pow.
Wow.
They got out and told him to move. You know, you in my way. I got a job to do. That's what the bus driver said to the van.
Now,
Well, that was logic.
now, one of the reasons Representative Allen West, we're going to get to it, but he told Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, and Barack Obama off. But last night when he was on the Fox News, he quoted Alexander the Great for something, and he was all wrong. Do you know he was wrong? It wasn't Alexander the Great that said it,
Is that right?
and it wasn't sheep. It was Cherebus, who was a great Athenian general, who said, an army of deer led by a lion is to be feared more than an army of lions led by a deer.
He said
he
sheep.
messed up the wrong person. He said sheep.
It wasn't Alexander the Great.
It wasn't
said
Alexander the Great.
Well, he seemed awful sure of himself.
I know he was, but he was wrong.
And you heard that here. You have said that many a time.
Let me see. I got general news here. Did you see 60 Minutes by chance?
I didn't see that.
They had some good stories. They had a story about Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta. They had a nice story about Goodell from the NFL, and they had this story about the Texas safari. I mean, it's just bizarre. In Texas, there's these thousands acre ranches with African animals, zebras and the whole bit, where they let big game hunters come in and hunt them for a fee. And these once extinct animals are no longer extinct because of Texas ranches that look like a safari. You can go on a safari now in Texas, Bobby Mackey.
Yeah.
How much it costs?
I don't know, but you could go. Let's go to. Hey, let's all go. Let's all go hunt a zebra. You want to shoot a zebra?
Kill what I eat.
Why would you want to shoot a zebra?
got-
I have to admit, I'm watching these animals and I don't want to shoot any of them damn animals.
We got some land up in Lewis County, Kentucky there, but no zebra.
You got some land in Lewis County?
Yeah, we got
Are you
some
going to
hot
vote
land.
for your judge executive for Congress? He's running.
Who's
The judge executive, Massey.
Oh, yes.
Your
Tom,
judge
I know him well.
Massey.
Thomas Massey. Yeah.
I'm for him.
Oh, he's good.
I'm
yeah.
for him.
He plays a little banjo.
Does he play the
We
banjo?
played music together. Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, I love him. He's a great guy.
When we come back, we're going to get Bobby Mackey's views on everything that we can get his views upon. All
right. I'll brush up here.
All right. On Real Talk 1160.
Get your healthy radio addiction at 9 o'clock this morning with Laura Ingram, 9 to noon on Real Talk 1160. Bulldog, you didn't ask me about my weekend.
TC, how was your weekend?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. You know, I understand that bus actually hit Joe Webb
Ooh,
at
really?
Channel 12.
Wow.
He might have been
Is he okay?
hospitalized. I
Is
don't
he
know.
all right? We got to get
he's-
some information on that.
He's all right. I think he's all right. The National Defense Authorization Act. You know, this. Everybody acts like, some people are like all uptight about this, and they think that, when the riots start happening, the president can just lock us all up and throw away the key. And a lot of people say, that's never going to happen. To prove that could happen, don't forget about that dude in New Mexico that spent 2 years in the county jail in solitary confinement, and nobody even cared that he was there.
DUI.
For a DUI. Never even saw a judge. Did you hear about this, Bobby? He got $21 million. He got arrested for a DUI. Never saw a judge. He was kept in solitary confinement for 2 years before finally they said, oh, well, we maybe ought to let this guy out. I mean, where's his friends?
He was nearly
Where's
dead.
his buddies?
Nearly dead by then, wasn't he?
Sensible Don, I will not let that happen to you.
but there's
After 1 year, I'll come looking.
There's a question that needs to be answered.
He needed to call you.
There's one question that needs to be answered.
I can answer it.
Would you do 2 years in solitary confinement for $22 million?
No.
I would.
No
about you,
way.
Robert?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Just give him my guitar. And
I could do this.
You know what is true? In 2 years, I probably wouldn't make $21 million. Maybe I will. I changed my mind, Sensible Don. I will.
how much taxes would come out of that?
Half of it, but that's all right. I take the risk.
Now, Bobby Mackey, you are a skilled musician, and you're also creative. You write your own songs and everything else.
Yeah.
Would you like to sing a song for
Yeah,
us
I got
today?
up early. I got up early this morning, and news coming over here, and I got up early, and I come up with this.
Getting up early is good.
Yeah, and I had a clear mind and everything. So if you're in trouble and you need saving, you need to call the Bulldog Nation. When you need to see the light at the end of the tunnel, pick up your phone and call this number, 250-2527, 250-2527.
We ought to have this guy back more often. I wanted to have him on, and you were fighting letting him in the door.
Am I welcome?
He
now?
wanted to leave you outside, waiting at the door, Bobby Mackey.
Am I welcome now? We're not too crowded now, are we?
Not too crowded. We're never too crowded for you, Bobby Mackey.
The whole story is, Bobby.
Sensible Don's claustrophobic.
I wanted Roy Clark. That's what I was holding out for.
Thank God and Greyhound, he's gone.
Hey, our president would like us to be more like France. Look what France is doing. They've got what's called a value-added sales tax, 21.2%. They want to hike it. Sarkozy wants to hike it 1.6%. Now, this is what Sarkozy says. The measure will not come into effect until October 1st. We hope it will lead to increased sales before that date and boost growth. So, following this logic, Bobby Mackey, our Congress ought to pass like a 50% sales tax, but it doesn't come into effect till October 1st. So everybody goes out there and buy until then.
And then cancel the sales tax.
Messed up. And then cancel the tax.
Well, that's a little too simple, I think.
Isn't that funny? That makes no sense at all. France is going to stimulate their economy by advertising. Here comes that tax.
You better spend your money.
You better spend it now. Jeez, old Pete.
That's actually a pretty good strategy.
You know what? It might work.
You're either going to start taxing green water, or you better stock up now.
Have any of you guys ever been to France?
Nope, I haven't.
I've been to Paris one time, and I was 13 on a bike trip. True story. And we stayed at a youth hostel. And Dan Meyer, Scott Guilfoyle, and I, who else was there? I think Rob Hingelbrock. The four of us were on this 14th floor of this youth hostel, and there were some pretty girls on the floor right below us, right? And I don't know why, but tried to whoa these girls. We were passing them a bottle of wine from the window on the 14th floor down to the, and if I recall correctly, I think it was Guilfoyle that we had on his legs. Well, for whatever reason, Dan Meyer and Rob Engelbrock decided to let go of Scott and look out the window to see what was going on. And he almost fell 14 floors.
That was real smart of both of you, wasn't it?
That was the last time I was in Paris. I was 13. I've been to the Eiffel Tower, Versailles. It's beautiful.
You would look at it a whole lot differently today.
I would look at it very differently.
You wouldn't hang out the window?
I need to take my wife to Paris.
Yeah, get you out of trouble.
I'm assuming that if you take a woman to Paris, you get lucky. Isn't that the rule? If you don't get lucky in Paris, you don't get lucky at all. I mean, don't you agree? I mean, shouldn't you be able to get lucky, Bobby Mackey, if you went to Paris?
Subliminal mood, would you
It's
say?
a Paris. The City of Lights. Isn't it called the City of Lights? TC doesn't know. He's just a domestic guy here.
Very domestic.
He's never been out of the country.
Yeah. Well, I got
TC,
I have.
I'm just joking.
I've been to
Have you ever been out of the
Chicago.
country? Sensible Don, have you ever been out of the country?
Oh, absolutely. Been to Europe?
Europe?
Yeah, been all over Europe.
All right.
Working for the Uncle Sam. I got to ask Bobby a question. Okay. How do you go from being a train engineer to a country star? How do you do that?
Well, I was actually a road brakeman and rode the trains from Silver Grove to Russell, Kentucky back. And you know what? Riding out there on the tracks all the time with, mind wanders a bit. And actually, I wrote a lot of songs while I was doing that.
Absolutely. The railroad, it inspired you, didn't
Right.
it?
Is it true that everybody had a bottle of wine in their back pocket?
No, that wasn't true. It wasn't wine. It was snake bite medicine.
Thank you.
Hey, while you guys are talking about these things, we got important issues to discuss.
What's that issue, boy?
Herman Cain endorsed Newt.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Like it matters now. Oh, let it go, Herman. A little too late. After the lead of Romney widens the 15. Jump on board right there.
Here I go.
Herman, our guy Herman has great timing, Bobby Mackey.
Yeah,
I mean, we got behind this guy in the beginning.
He knows how it feels to be beat up.
Yeah, he does.
So he called up Newton and he said,
I will help you.
I just had to get that.
That's a good one,
more
I love
Jason.
this. I loved Herman's big old cowboy hat.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, I like it
I
too.
love that big old cowboy.
We loved Herman.
Yeah.
Herman got taken down by the I almost just quoted. I caught myself. I almost just quoted Don Imus.
Imaginary friends again.
Sarah Palin continues to encourage voters to vote for Newt. She says, "Rage against the machine." That's what she said. She said, "I say, you've got to rage against the machine at this point in order to defend our republic." Where Sarah Palin, how come you ain't down there working hard for Newt?
Why not?
She
endorses him from Alaska, maybe. Let me see.
You can see Russia from here.
I think, what I've decided? It's time for a third party. It really is.
I think so.
I mean, it is time. You know what?
Absolutely.
The Tea Party gets held back by the Republican establishment, and they always will. I say after this election, because we got to beat Obama this time, screw the Republican establishment. No matter what the hell happens, let's create a third party, which is a conservative, libertarian-type party. We'll call it the Bulldog Nation Party.
Nothing's going to change. The establishment.
And by the way,
here's
here's a great example. Sarah Palin obviously knows about the inside establishment because she ran with McCain, okay? Look where Sarah Palin is. She's not in with the establishment, is she? She wants to be outside.
She wasn't then, and they muzzled.
Thompson, same thing. Newt Gingrich used to be part of the establishment, and it turned against him. He's out. Herman Cain, he doesn't like the establishment. Isn't it interesting that any national candidate that has had to deal with the establishment and all the crap that they do, they don't like it, and they ought to unite. It's a shame they haven't all united against because their egos are too big. That I want to be the guy. It's a shame they didn't get in a room and say, all right, who should be the best candidate? Because if the non-Romney was mano to mano with Romney, they'd be winning this thing right now.
Yeah.
But it's time for a third party candidate or third party. Call it the Liberty Party. Something patriotic. The Liberty Party.
Bull Moose.
Bull Moose Party.
Why not?
Yeah.
Let me see what else. Resurrected. Head-to-head, Romney beats Obama 48-47. The other head-to-heads, Obama waxes Paul, Santorum, and Gingrich. Money. Money doesn't matter in politics at all. Romney, when it started out in Florida, Newt was up by 9 points. Now Romney is up 15.
And 4-1.
4-1 spending. $15 million to like $4 million.
They got the money.
Jeez, old Pete.
Proves my point.
Now this is why I made Representative Alan West an oracle today. He said this to Obama, Reid, and Pelosi. Take your message of equality of achievement. Take your message of economic dependency. Take your message of enslaving the entrepreneur will and spirit of the American people somewhere else. You can take it to the bottom of the sea. You can take it to the North Pole, but get the hell out of the United States of America. Quote, Representative Alan West. He's my man.
I love him.
He's my man.
Yep.
When we return, we're going to ask Bobby Mackey some important questions on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. By the way, that was wrong, what Kerry did. Their rabbit's name was going to be Harold, not Ahmadinejad. I came up with a yellow rabbit named Harold was going to teach everybody American history, just like Barney teaches everybody the alphabet and how to count.
And he was going to be cute and fuzzy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rhetorical question, Sensible Don. Barack Obama in his State of Union address said that he's directing his administration now to 75% of the reserves to be open. Question, if that's a good move, how come it hasn't been that way for the last 4 years?
That's a good question. Can we say re-election?
Yes.
That's the reason why. Politicians, hypocrite.
Keystone Pipeline.
Keystone Pipeline. Bobby Mackey, what's going on down at your joint? I'll let you promote your joint.
Well, we're just having a heck of a time. I'm so grateful the way people respond to my music and of course, the myth about
you're the last honky tonk in town. I mean, country music hit that big old crescendo. But now, is there anybody else besides you playing country music?
I don't think so.
If they are, we're not going to talk about them.
And it's working. It's working for us, and it has for a long time. And it's hard to explain. But when I'm on stage and the place is full of people, and
do you ever play that David Allan Coe song, "The Perfect Country Song"?
I don't do it personally, but somebody in my band does.
I like
Ernie
that.
Vaughn, I think. Sings.
Guess who else is blasting Romney along with us?
Who?
Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh says it's a shame what they're doing to Newt. How do you like that?
Yep.
They ain't going to make any difference because the establishment's got the train rolling.
Dennis
Also,
Miller, noon to 3 on Real Talk 1160.
yeah, noon to 3. We have big news, by the way, coming up as it start Wednesday?
Wednesday.
First. Starting Wednesday from noon to 3, Michael Savage is joining the Real Talk 1160 lineup. So it goes Bulldogs Radio Superbity. Then it goes to Laura Ingram's Radio Addiction. And then Michael Savage will have his Savage Nation.
I like him.
Bulldog Nation and Savage Nation join forces.
Yeah.
We are the nation's station. What?
Yeah, right. Get that straight.
All right, now I got some interesting calculation here. The top 1% of taxes, according to the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, pays 29.5% of the taxes. All right? The next 1%, the next 19%, or the top 20%, pay 52.3% of the taxes. The bottom 20% only pay 4.7%. So what the hell is Obama saying when he says, pay your fair share?
Somebody's not paying their fair share. Who is that?
Now here is what just burns my hide. All right? Obama says that he wants to tax all those over $250,000 should pay at least 30%. Okay? I did a calculation based upon what the IRS claims the 200 to 500,000 range, they pay a rate of 19.6% about, and those that make 500,000 to $1 million pay a rate about 23.4%. If you were to round those together, it's about 300 billion, and that rate would be a little over 20%. Okay, 300 billion. So if you wanted to get to 30%. Okay, you divide 300 billion, it's another $100 billion. Okay, so what he's advocating, I mean, this is mathematical fact. If we do what Barack Obama wants to do, tax those people making over 200,000, 30%, it brings in 100 billion more. Now, here's the unknown. By taxing those people, what does it do with overall tax revenue? Because, they hide things, they don't create jobs. But I mean, just, 100 billion. But here's the problem, Bobby Mackey. The national deficit last year was $1.6 trillion.
Yeah.
And he's bet the ranch, his entire platform. And I tell you right now, in the general election, whoever's the Republican nominee ought to pound away at this, pound away at this, pound away at this. That his whole platform is based upon this 30%, those people make it, brings in 100 billion more. We got to find about 1.5 trillion other places, Bobby Mackey.
Yeah, it needs to come down to.
He acts like
that's
he acts like that's it, man. We tax these rich 30%, everything's okay.
We need to bring government down to match the taxes that are coming in, not raise the taxes to grow government more.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Barack Obama's a fraud. He's a fraud.
No.
He's a lying fraud.
He's the president.
This is interesting. Barack Obama versus John McCain. Of course, McCain's down there in Pensacola.
A loser.
He's a loser. Up there supporting Mitt Romney. I can't stand McCain. Mr. Keating 5, corrupt SOB.
Always acting like something.
Come back from Vietnam and leave your woman. Anyway, Facebook friends on Election Day, they did this internet comparison between Obama and McCain. Obama had 2.3 million. McCain had 622,000. Let me see. Number of online videos mentioning the candidates. Obama had twice as many. Number of campaign-made videos, six times as much. I mean, he just totally kicked his butt, with the internet game and everything else. How about this? Obama also, the scumbag that he is, likes to bribe young voters. He goes to these campuses like University of Michigan last week to announce that he wants to increase campus aid tenfold for those universities that hold down spending. I mean, he goes out there bribing young voters, Bobby Mackey. He bribes them. What can I give young people? What can I give to union workers? What can I give to the green energy people? It's like bribery.
Well, he was out. He was talking, and he was almost confrontational the way he came at colleges when he was speaking to that group about, we can't allow them to do this if they're going to do this, and the taxpayers won't stay. I mean, and I think that's instead of what he should have done is said, let's work with them and try and figure out a way to bring the cost down. But by being confrontational, it was like, yeah, I'm behind you guys. I'm with you guys.
Did you see the book that he was photographed clutching as he left the campaign plane during the Democratic primaries in May of 2008? It's called The Post-American World.
Post-American?
Post-American World. That's what Barack was reading back in 2008.
I don't like the sound of that.
That's where he got this.
True story.
That's
True
where he
story.
got this transformation stuff.
He's sitting there saying, the post-American world. I'm going to lead it into the post-American world. Now they say he's reading the book The World America Made, which is supposed to be discussing America's actually not in decline. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a minute. Let me see. I already talked about Goldman Sachs. They just earned everybody. How about this? Michelle Obama shopped at Madison Avenue's Agent Provocateur. Agent Provocateur. They apparently are a luxury lingerie store.
I thought she got her stuff for Target.
I think the first lady should not be allowed to buy lingerie at the Agent Provocateur.
Yeah, what happened to the Target deal?
Yeah, what happened to Target?
Yes.
What happened to the Crew? What's it called? What's that called? That something Crew?
J. Crew.
J. Crew.
And look, if she's buying it, I need to see her in it before I could give a decision on that.
You don't talk about the first lady that way.
Oh, I apologize. I still need to see her in it.
He just thinks about the first lady that way.
All the time.
All I know is that she's going to have to have a lot. She's going to have to have a XXX large lingerie to cover up that behind she's got.
Oh, that's nice. She got something in the trunk.
I don't think she's pretty at all. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I think she is an angry black woman.
You have to understand, angry black women do a good job.
Angry black women scare the hell out of me.
Yes, they would.
Actually, any angry woman scares the hell out of me. Let's just call it the way it is. Black, white, red, or blue. An angry woman scares the hell out of me.
Now, I've been cornered in the kitchen with an angry black woman.
You have been?
I know how it is.
What happened?
I got kicked
Cornered in the kitchen.
Frying pan.
Yeah, got kicked in the head.
Oh my God!
I left there.
Is this
went home.
Pam or somebody else?
I can't tell you who because I get in trouble. I don't want to get sanctioned.
Wouldn't you like to
that,
know
but,
what he did?
Yeah, what did you do to get cornered like that?
You really want to know the whole
Gotta
story?
be a
I
story.
don't. I don't.
I can tell
We're
you.
the Christian Broadcasting Station.
Oh, it's real quick and easy, and it's not bad. We got in an argument over whether we're going on vacation, whether we're going to use a credit card or traveler's checks. That's what the fight was about.
It always is fights about those kind of
About
things.
nothing.
Insignificant.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how you can be getting along so wonderful? Everything is wonderful in the world, and all of a sudden, like this,
Boom.
boom.
It's gone. And you wonder, what happened?
What the? What?
What did I do?
What?
I said what? And I said it, 2 years ago? Oh, I'm sorry.
Didn't see it coming.
You don't see it
I
coming.
don't. You know that book about women are from Venus and men are from Mars?
That's a fact.
That's a truth.
That's a new fact.
Man, we're just on different pages.
Different worlds.
Why don't they go back to Venus?
Come on, TC. Back to Venus?
Because
What
we'd be
we do?
miserable if they were on Venus.
That's where the colony should be.
By the way, I got a great one from Jim from Verona. Breaking news verified by the FDA. The green water diet plan. Nothing slims you down like dysentery. When we return, we'll see what TC has on the green waterfront. And maybe we can get Bobby Mackey to write a jingle
That sounds good.
on Real Talk 1160.
Okay.
If you're away from the radio, use the Radio Loyalty app free on your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android to hear Real Talk 1160 24/7. The official app of Bulldog, Laura Ingram, Dennis Miller, the other guys, and 1160 Sports. And now, back to the Bulldog.
This is the Bulldog, Harry Deters on Real Talk 1160. Our special guest today, he was just wandering around downstairs, so we thought we'd let him in, was Bobby Mackey.
I've been hanging out down there for a whole month.
Well, Bobby, we're glad we finally let you in. And he brought his sidekick, RJ. You know, we ought to form as a Cincinnati sidekick club. See, I got Chuck. You got RJ. He's got Alex. The Cincinnati Sidekick Club.
By the way, are you doing anything on Super Bowl Sunday? Because
No.
we're still the Greenwater halftime show. We haven't nailed down our featured act yet.
Bobby, I've never shared this with you because you're my friend, but I just want some brownie points. Back in the day when you first got your bull, and everybody was going down there to ride that mechanical bull, and I'd go down and ride the bull and everything else, there was a group of men, young men, ages 21 to 25, that came to me that were spending all that money to ride the bull, that wanted me to file a class action lawsuit against you. They said, man, we want you to file a class action lawsuit against Bobby Mackey. And I said, well, I like Bobby Mackey, but if it's a really, really, really good one, to hell with that, I'll sue him. But because I'm a man of principle, so unless it's a really good class action lawsuit, I'm not going to file. So I said, well, what's your basis of a class action lawsuit against Bobby Mackey? And they said, well, I don't know if you know this, Bulldog, but any woman with a C cup and up gets to ride the bull for free. And we feel like it's gender discrimination
I didn't know
that we
that.
have to pay, but any woman with a C cup or up rides free.
These guys
now,
didn't
is
get
that
it.
true, Bobby
That
Mackey?
is not true. That is not true.
Did you let women with big bosoms ride free?
No, I did not.
Hold on a
told
second.
you.
Wait a minute. That works in our favor now, doesn't it?
That's what I told him.
should
You know what I
appreciate
told him? You know what I told him? I said, I'm not going to sue Bobby Mackey. Just continue to enjoy the show.
Thank you very much.
So I want you to know, Bobby, that I saved you.
I appreciate that. Well, but I told you I knew a few things about legal issues.
If you want to keep your money
Hey, by
in
the
your
way,
pocket.
Bobby, if you don't have that rule, you might want to consider that rule. you know, it's like at Kings Island, they had those little things of if you're not this tall, you can't ride the ride. Yeah. You can have one that says if you're not this big, or if you're this big, you ride free.
Oh, the suits will come flowing in.
Which leads me to another deeper Socrates, Plato type of question.
But we'll get you to call the size.
Yeah. Why are we so fascinated with bosoms?
That's the first thing you experience when
That's a
you're born.
Kurtzman question.
That's right.
That's a Kurtzman question?
Yeah.
Turning to military cuts. According to Leon Panetta, this is what we're going to have to cut. The Army would lose 80,000 soldiers for an active duty force of 490,000. There would be 20,000 fewer Marines, down to 182,000. The Air Force would buy fewer of its new fighter, the F-35, and scrap 92 cargo planes and jets. The Navy would lose 7 cruisers. Pay raises would be limited beginning in 2015, and health care fees for retirees would rise. 2 Army brigades in Europe would be eliminated, and Obama will ask Congress to begin another round of base closings in the USA. Funding for special ops, such as those involved in the raid that killed Osama bin Laden, would continue to grow, as would the military's fleet of drones. There's also funding for a new generation bomber capable of penetrating modern air defense systems like that of China. Oh, shoot.
The daisy cutter.
Cut. Look at all those jobs.
But how does that compare to the Carter days? How thin did we get then? Is there any comparison?
Well, I think that's what we're headed to. Hey, how about this? George Will had a great column yesterday speaking about, Obama, referencing the SEAL team and talking about backs and all these military metaphors to try to make his wimp sack act like he's a tough guy. George Will had a great comment. He says, that's kind of a little technique that they use, people like Obama use, to try to make it look like, see, this is the way we should do it. We should do it like the military. When the reality is, we don't live in a military martial society. We live in a free society governed by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And George Will points out, hey, sorry, Barack, we have to, politics can be messy with the Constitution. The government can move kind of slow because of the checks and balances. Barack Obama wants to be a dictator. He's already announced, if Congress isn't going to act, I'm going to act. And then now he's doing the military metaphor thing. I mean, what? It wouldn't shock me that before he leaves office, he declares martial law and tries to take us over.
You think so?
But by the way, that'll never happen. You know why?
That can't happen.
This was sent to me by a Bulldog Nation member. Guess how many licensed hunters there are in Wisconsin?
How many, Bulldog?
600,000. Guess how many in Pennsylvania?
How many?
750,000. Guess how many in Michigan? 700,000. Those 3 states alone, you know what that makes? Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, the largest army in the world.
You're kidding.
Now, isn't that cool to think about? And I've always said that.
Yeah.
People that want to attack the Second Amendment, do you realize that one of the reasons why our country will never be conquered is everybody owns guns, and we got lots and lots of hunters with rifles. Think about if somebody tried to, like, take over Kentucky. Are you kidding me? Everybody's got a gun. We'd be shooting at them. We're armed. And Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and others, Pelosi and Reid, they would like to disarm us.
That'll never happen. We'll have a budget situation in Kentucky? No way. Who's going to take over Kentucky?
By the way, Jimmy Kimmel Live apparently said the State of the Union address, and the State of the Union is Kentucky. They mocked us. They mocked us in Kentucky.
Well, why shouldn't they?
Huh?
Why shouldn't they?
I don't know. Yeah. But isn't that interesting, though, that we are an armed society, and thank God we are. Yes. And I want an armed revolution on Washington. Bobby Mackey, don't you think they'd pee their britches if the Bulldog led 10,000 hunters upon Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Tell them the whole story with their weapons.
With their weapons. I want them to bring their guns.
Bobby gonna change his mind now.
They would pee their pants, wouldn't they?
Well, I think they would, yeah. But they'd know we meant business.
But they got
exactly.
Guns too.
That's my point. They know we meant business. They're not going to fire on the people.
Please.
They are not going to fire on the people.
Let's go back.
The press would eat them up.
A guy named what's his name? What was the general name? MacArthur. He fired on the people.
Yeah, but that was before YouTube.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In the name of
That was
Park
before
Avenue.
handheld cameras, Don. Now MacArthur would have been on YouTube, and it was the people holding up their camera.
And he shoot those out your hand.
But they're taking us over. They're taking us over from the inside without
Piece
guns.
by piece, right? Without
Right.
They don't need guns.
But we got the vote, and the vote was changed.
Heck, I'm afraid to shoplift anymore because somebody might videotape me.
Anymore?
They got you.
But
TC got that.
I've always thought that America would get it right. I always thought the American
Yeah, not
voters
anymore.
would get it right and correct it all.
last time-
But they're not because they're being led by the establishment, like we talked earlier.
The last time I shoplifted, I was 7, and I stole some Mary Janes from Butler's Market. My mom made me take them back.
Smart lady.
Candy?
Yeah,
Smart
Mary
lady.
Jane's.
Mary Jane,
Not Mary Jane, a woman. It was Mary Jane, a candy, TC.
Okay.
You never had a Mary Jane?
Didn't steal a woman. Okay.
Mary Jane. My wife's name's Mary Ann.
Oh, that's good.
By the way, I told my wife, I said, to make up for those women in the studio, I do talk about her a lot in a positive fashion. She says, stop talking about me.
Sanction again.
You know what my wife does when she's mad at me? She paints her toenails black
Okay.
because she knows I hate nail polish.
So you know right
Isn't
away.
that cruel and unusual punishment?
You must have really done something.
Yeah, I had females in the studio, which are banned for life. There will not be any more women in this studio by order of the wife.
How did you ban them?
Huh?
You blame it on me?
Yeah, I blame it. No, I don't work anymore. She knows the old, it's Chuck's fault or your fault. I've tried that. All right. Bobby Mackey, rumors are Wednesday it will be announced that Facebook is going to do an IPO to try to raise $100 billion and be a publicly traded company. Apparently, JP Morgan Stanley is going to handle it. Are you going to buy stock in Facebook?
Not the first day.
Yeah, I'd let it drop a little bit, then buy, because it'll drop. It'll dip.
Yeah.
What do you do, Sensible Don?
I don't have any money, so I do nothing. Solve that problem.
You got to do nothing? Yeah, I don't have any money to buy any stock these days either. I got too many damn bills at the law office. Anybody want to buy a law firm
Bobby?
for $100 billion? My law firm's more valuable than Facebook.
You take a check.
You wait a couple of days, it'll drop.
Here's some news. Procter & Gamble's net income fell 49%.
Oh, that's pitiful. How?
I don't know. Tide ain't selling, man. Tide's not selling.
Oh, they're doing like you, taking a shower every other day.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for telling everybody I smell. True story. I'm gonna give you everybody too much information. Okay.
Yes,
I got up early yesterday morning. Went and got my New York Times at the office and everything. Now I didn't go upstairs. I didn't wake up my wife to brush my teeth. True story. I didn't realize it till I got up this morning. I went all day yesterday without brushing my teeth. That's terrible.
Hey, you talk to people.
Now I use gum. I did have gum. I did use gum, but I was home working all day, so I wasn't around anybody.
I got to ask you, boss. Are you one of those people, instead of using a toothbrush, you use your finger to clean your teeth?
No, I brush my teeth. When we come back, I got big Taco Bell news.
Oh, which is good.
Good Taco Bell. Actually, it's kind of funny. We're going to make fun of Taco Bell. Because they don't advertise on the station, so we can make fun of them.
What happened to the talking dog?
The talking dog? The Chihuahua?
Yeah.
It was ran over by a bus driven by Don. When we come back, more Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. Big news that I haven't heard much discussion lately at all, but I caught this in the AP from the Wall Street Journal. Taco Bell announces that they are going to launch breakfast, and they did launch breakfast last Thursday at nearly 800 restaurants in 14 states, but not Kentucky, the home of its parent Yum Brands. If the launch goes well, Taco Bell plans to begin selling breakfast burritos and hash browns along with its tacos and gorditos in its 5,600 locations nationwide in 2014. What the hell do you eat for breakfast out of a Taco Bell? It gives me indigestion thinking about it.
Maybe they put eggs and sausage where the...
On a taco egg? Egg taco?
I've seen it before.
You have?
Yeah. Eggs, taco, sausage.
Yeah, it should be okay.
Yeah. I don't
Some
eat
hot
it,
sauce.
I saw 'em.
Hot sauce?
Do you notice? Do you notice?
I don't eat Taco Bell because I don't like Mexican food. I want everybody to know that I am not prejudiced towards Hispanics, Mexicans, or Latinos. I just hate Mexican food.
Just a disclaimer.
Give me meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
I go along with that. But you have you noticed that when people come in the studio, they talk to me more than they talk to you?
That's because you're not doing anything besides just sitting over there. You don't do any show preparation.
That's my job. Do nothing. You know that.
CBS Morning News yesterday had an interesting story about a company called Foxconn, which is a Chinese company which makes 50% of all electronics, including the iPhone for Apple. 50%.
Saw that story. Oh,
I'm
amazing.
like, man, how do we buy stock in Foxconn? And apparently they drive all these Chinese workers nuts and they jump off the buildings and whatnot. They have to have nets to protect them.
You see that? Nets to catch the people jumping
and
off
they
the roof.
confronted Steve Jobs, and Jobs goes, hey, they got a hospital there. They've got movie theaters. They got cafeteria. They got young people. But
so when they jump, there's a hospital. We can take them right there on the street.
But that guy that does that skit attacking him, he disturbed me. That big fat guy was sweating and everything else.
Right.
I mean, he was kind of a disturbing kind of guy.
He cannot be a spokesman.
He cannot be an anti-Foxconn spokesperson. He was a little weird.
Oh,
but you know what? They work hard. They don't have to work hard. They don't want to.
But the guy was complaining about the fact that some of them have to work 12 hours a day. Thank you. I worked 15 hours a day for 40 years just to make ends meet. And he's complaining, we might have to work 12 hours a day. How crazy is that?
Let's find some desperate unemployed people and force them to work for us, and we'll call it Bulldog Con.
That sounds good to me.
Called Occupy Con.
They asked Obama apparently asked Steve Jobs, because this is kind of sad. Apple has like 40,000 jobs here, and they have like 500,000 jobs over in China. It's big disparity. Like 5,000 jobs here, 40,000. That's what it is. 40,000 jobs over there. And Barack Obama asked Steve Jobs at dinner, how do we get those jobs back? And Steve Jobs goes, you don't.
You can't.
It ain't happening.
Sorry.
You know, all these people get all nervous about, like slave labor and all that. Steve Jobs, I don't care, man.
I want to sell my iPod.
I want to produce those low-cost labor and jack them up when he brings them over here.
Some serious money being made in China. You know that, don't you?
Serious money being made in China.
Have an office there?
Foxconn.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
as soon as I learn Mandarin, I will open up a Chinese office of Bulldog Nation.
You know, you
were talking
about that the guy, the spokesman for Foxconn. All weekend I was taking calls and emails for people that want to be the spokesman for Green Water. We've got to get this for the big Super Bowl ad, and some guy, I don't want to say his name, last name is Jones. I said, we're trying to get people to drink the green water, and his pitch was something like, come to the pavilion, my children, come to the pavilion. I hung up on him. Made me nervous.
Jim Jones?
Jim, I know.
You got that?
I got that.
That really scared me. He said he could get him to drink never mind. Green water, better than food poisoning. Available at Queen Cake.
I think Bulldog Nation is wanting to know what's going on with our Twinkies. Hostess Brands is seeking court permission to reject, get this, 290, you wonder how a company gets screwed up, 296 collective bargaining agreements that cover the majority of its 19,000 employees, saying it simply cannot survive in the marketplace with that. How in the hell does a company get 296 collective bargaining agreements.
Separate unions.
If my workers at my law office ever try to unionize, I will just fire them all.
Okay, Henry Ford. He tried that. They tore it out
Speaking
his
of Ford, third year in a row they got profit.
Yeah.
Ford.
Ford.
Again?
Yep.
Yeah, without help.
Without help. Union memberships has fallen in 2011. 11.8% of the workers are in unions. That's down from 11.9%. But you know what? If Scott Walker, he's got to win that recall vote in Wisconsin. And by the way, guess what? Because of his budget, his popularity's way up. There's a surplus going on in the state treasury. Hello, Ohio. Look what Wisconsin did.
He'll win.
So let's hope he wins the recall.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to stand up to public sector unions. Unlike some of my friends who sold out.
Willie.
What's the new
Just
city?
don't say his name. We're not going to say anybody's name.
I didn't say
What's
that.
the city in Colorado that's they're talking about being the new motor city?
Yep.
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Food stamps. In 2011, more than 45 million people, about 1 in 7 Americans, received benefits from the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the most ever. Fewer than 31 million people collected the benefits 3 years earlier. Holy cow. Under Barack Obama, we've got a 30% increase in food stamps. Now, here, look how it breaks down racially. 49% are white, 26% are black, and 20% are Hispanics.
And you know you can buy food stamps any place, anytime.
You can?
And I go out and buy you all the food stamps you want.
Really?
Right in the ghetto.
As a bargain?
Just pick them up.
Like you can get like $1 a food stamp for like 10 cents?
Yep.
What's the
20 cents.
percentage of the dollar?
They start at 50 if they
Because they want the money to buy other things.
It's
Yeah.
according to how high they are, how far down they go.
Well, let's get in the black market of food. Oh, we should announce it on the radio.
Yeah,
No,
you
we
know what
shouldn't
though?
also-
Yeah, you can make it. Not that we would do this because we're
Yeah,
doing
we
well
would.
with the
I
Green
need
Water
money.
Company. No, well, at UD there's a Kroger not too far there, and you'd see people out there. They would sell them to you 50 cents on the dollar.
Right.
Well,
You
let's
know?
get in the food stamp
College kids
black
ate that up.
market.
That's some big money.
In the
there.
spirit of John Hancock, who was a smuggler, let's get in the food stamp black market.
Why not? It's billions of dollars involved.
Come on, it's not heroin, it's food stamps. Nobody's getting hurt. We're helping out the food stamp recipient, get them a little cash.
We'll make it a green market.
Then they go
And
buy
listen,
them.
we buy them for 10 cents on the dollar and sell them for 5 cents on the dollar. Or no, the other way around, 20% on the
Turn it
dollar.
around, please.
Excuse me.
Stick to law.
You can tell I screwed up in algebra. You know, everybody's attacks these public, like Paul Brown Stadium, Riverfront. It's not Riverfront Stadium, but Great American Ballpark, how much it costs. Well, Louisville was bragging about their Yum Center and how wonderful their Yum Center is. Lagging revenue in the special taxing district means there's a risk the project is not going to cover their debt, and all the bonds that were sold to build the Yum Center are going to go to junk status.
Somebody's upset.
It's only been a year. Yum Center.
You got money in there?
Crashing. Hell no. Hell no.
What about you, Bobby?
I don't have any blind trust either.
Let's do some good news. Caterpillar earnings are expected to rise 25%. Buy a bulldozer. Buy a Caterpillar. Here's some good news. Anybody diabetic in the room?
Nope.
Amylin Pharmaceuticals won federal approval on Friday for its new and more convenient drug for type 2 diabetes, ending years of setbacks. The drug, Bydureon, is injected once a week, and you're good to go.
Well, that's good.
You're good to
Yeah,
go.
because my wife used to inject 3 times a day.
That's right. What do you think about Twitter censoring? Twitter admits that they can kind of turn things on and turn things off. What do you think about that?
We want to
Twitter's in the censoring business.
And, you know,
There's been an outrage against Twitter.
but it's legal for them. They're not the government. They
They're
can do
true.
it.
I'm
Don't
surprised. It's amazing that people are surprised by that. Like they didn't think that was, already going on.
Yeah, true. Do any of you own any cattle?
Yes.
Not anymore.
The U.S. cattle herd has shrunk to its smallest size in 60 years. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reported due to the drought in southern plains, the Texas ranchers got rid of cattle left and right. U.S. cattlemen had a total of 90.8 million cattle and calves as of January 1st. The USDA said Friday its annual cattle inventory report. That's the lowest since 1952 when the herd was 88.1 million. By the way, record beef and cattle prices going up.
You could hook that to ethanol. You know that, don't you?
You know, my dad's getting back in the cattle business a little bit more strong. We always had 300 black Angus cattle that I chased around the farm every day.
When
we got to get the cattle up in the herd.
When I left home out of high school, my dad had 300 head of black Angus cattle. We got about 150 head right now.
When I was, that's a lot of cattle.
Yeah, we got about 150 head up in Lewis County.
When I had my last rites confession in the hospital, when I had that Brady Carty event when I was only 24 years old, and that Italian priest came in and asked me to confess my sins, one of the sins that I confessed was that I said, Father, when I was 13 and started working on the farm, I want to confess that I held down little black Angus male calves as my brother banded them and castrated them.
Oh,
yeah,
that hurts me.
I still have nightmares. I still have nightmares every day about what I did to those poor little bulls. Made them steers, Bobby.
Yeah, I've seen that action. But the worst thing, every time
those
it would
poor
rain,
little bulls.
Every time it rained, the cattle got out on the road.
Oh my God!
When it would rain, they would inevitably.
I've chased cows
every
day.
So, Bulldog, when you and your brother did that, did you have 2.5 men?
Ha! When we come back, more Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160.
You seen a big set of clamps?
Remember, you can always listen to us live online. Just go to realtalk1160.com and click on Listen Live. And use the TuneIn Radio app on your iPhone or Droid. And now back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Bobby Mackey, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
I want you to know you're never going to be allowed back because we decided nobody else is allowed in the studio
that's
anymore.
Too bad.
So we want to thank you for coming in today and for your jingle.
It.
What do you got going on? Every Friday, Saturday night, promote your place.
Yeah,
we don't promote ourselves, but we like giving our guests a chance to promote.
I'm on the Shotgun Red variety show. The
Shotgun Red?
Yeah, on RFD TV. It's
okay.
going to be aired. I recorded it. It's going to be aired February 13th, 14th, and 19th on RFD TV.
That's awesome.
Talking to a puppet.
That's neat.
Talking to a what?
A puppet.
Hey, if Mel Gibson can do it, you can do it. That's the way I look at it.
It was fun.
I'm not going to judge you, Bobby Mackey, because, I've done some goofy stuff myself.
Yes, you have.
Well, it wasn't too goofy. I think they have a viewing audience of 1.5 million. So
1.5 million.
Probably not real goofy after all, but it was fun. But it was kind of strange talking. He was sitting at the desk and talking.
What kind of cattle do you have?
We have Black Angus mostly. We have some Charolais and some Limousine mixed in.
We have Black Angus on the farm. My dad's farm.
Black Angus brings more money.
Yeah, Black Angus, and they're docile. I don't know why we ever had this bull, but for some reason we had what was called a Brahma bull.
Yeah.
And I guess Brahma's a breed. I want to tell you something. It wasn't it was like a tan colored. This Brahma bull was crazy. I mean, nut job. It needed a psychiatrist for cattle. And it almost killed us a few times. I mean, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
One time I was out in the field putting out some salt blocks for the cattle. This Brahma bull took a look at me and came charging. Oh. I mean, full bore charging. And I ran, and right as I jumped over the fence, pow, that bull hit that fence post. I mean, it would have killed me. It had horns and everything.
Black Angus.
And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if I survive living on the farm, I want to be a lawyer. Screw the farm.
Did the bull knock himself out?
Now we know the story.
Let me tell you something about working on the farm. People think it's all this hard work ethic. That's all true. But Bobby Mackey, working on the farm as a kid makes you realize something. I don't want to work on the farm. I'm staying in school.
I didn't either. I took my guitar and left as soon as I got out of high school.
You're right, because it's like, who wants to stick around with this stuff?
That's right.
It is hard work.
Yes, it is.
And you almost get killed. That's like my son. I said, you play football. I ain't working on the farm. You might die. Sensible Don, you were an inner city kid. You didn't have the experience of farm work, did you?
I got some stories.
Oh, that is right. He's got white relatives who are Ohio farmers.
That's Ohio farmers. That's right.
Yeah.
That other half of the family, the good half.
The good half.
But Black Angus are usually not mean like that.
No. Black Angus are sweet cows.
But we had one Black Angus bull that nearly killed my brother. He went after him.
We had one time when Parker was like 3 or 4 years old, and he was had his head in between two fence boards, looking at this big bull, and the bull charged him, and I pulled him back.
Yep.
My bad, I had a heart attack. Bulls, they're scary creatures.
Yeah, they're scary creatures. But you see the movie Damien?
Yeah, I think I did.
The Omen.
The Omen, yeah.
You know why the animals came after him, don't you?
No, why?
He was the devil. Is that a hint?
What?
You
the
the
bulls?
devil. No.
I'm not the devil. I'm an angel.
Bobby, you come on every Friday and Saturday night at 10 o'clock, right?
That's right.
Guess what? I'm coming out Friday to see you.
That'll be great. I look forward to it.
By the way, unlike TC, when he says he's going to show up, he does.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm going to be looking for him. And
Are you going to come to my comedy show February 14th at Tickets?
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody has anything better to do on Valentine's Day, do they?
RJ, you think you'd be able to pick me out in the crowd?
It's early. So you can go to dinner, come to the show, and then still be romantic.
And shoot the little arrows.
Shoot the little arrows. We're calling it Bulldog Raw. The last time I did see my first comedy show, I did at the Funny Bone, and I let myself curse a little bit, and it was fun. I try to clean act. It ain't the same.
Yeah.
A well-timed expletive could make a joke a lot better. I've learned that.
Okay, Richard.
Timing.
Richard Pryor. I am the white Richard Pryor of the Tri-State.
I would tell you, you the blackest white boy I know.
TC, do you have anything you want to say, including a green water commercial?
Well, we are taking auditions this week for a mascot. Now, we are an equal opportunity employer, but we were kind of leaning toward a weasel because he's got the little underbelly thing going on, you know.
Ermine.
But, yeah, thank you, Ermine. So,
the official spokesperson of Green Water is going to be a little weasel. You know, Geico has that little lizard,
Gecko.
Gecko.
Yeah.
We're going to have a weasel. Green Water sponsor a weasel.
I love watching the little lizard
It was
dance.
all my idea. They don't contribute anything to this
That's
at
right.
all.
He has
They
all
don't
the
contribute anything.
Do you mind if I read another email from one of the people that was auditioning for the show?
Yes, please do.
This is from Charlie Algie from the swamps of Florida. He says, "Dear Green Water, I have a green suit. I drive a green car. My lawn is green." Sorry, Charlie. Green Water doesn't want algae with green taste. Green Water wants algae that tastes green.
Can we go out there?
Not one of his
Right.
better efforts.
See, years ago, there used to be a
Do you know what started this whole thing, don't you, Bobby Mackey?
No.
We decided that if they're going to lend $500 million to Solyndra, we want a little bit of the action.
Yeah.
It should be easier to get.
We getting $1 billion.
We got $1 billion.
We get
It's
$1
all
billion.
in the works.
That's right.
But the Obama administration saw that two black guys and a white guy
Oreo.
were joining forces, and we lied. We said I was Asian. When we were requesting $1 billion to start a company called Green Water, Joe Biden went bonkers. They said, approve that. Approve that. And we got to approve him in.
How long would it take you to go bankrupt?
Huh?
How long do you usually plan for
it's
bankruptcy?
going to be really quick because we're going to divide it equally between the three of us in the same Cayman bank that Mitt Romney has.
That's right.
And then
It'll
say sorry.
Because you got to have a big
And
salary.
then we're going to say sorry.
It's going to take just a little longer for us to go bankrupt than it's going to take for the rest of us to get down to Mexico.
You know what? We jest, but I swear to goodness, and we ought to do this, I swear to goodness, if we sent in some kind of application to the Department of Energy that we are having a startup company called Green Water, I'll bet you we would get approved.
I believe it. I believe it.
Under the environment.
We get that Solyndra attorney to work for us.
By the way, Carrie says that she knows how to write grants and whatnot. We want to carry on
What's
apply.
the problem? Let's get it going. I'm not going to jail for $1 million.
You know what brought this on too, Bobby Maggie? We found out this company called Dean's Water. I was drinking gallons of water. Dean's Water, if you look at the jug, it says, comes from a municipal water source. So what they were doing is they were taking jugs of water, filling it up with tap water from some municipal, and selling it for $2.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy cow, we can do that.
It happens,
Ours is
it happens a
fresh.
lot.
Only
You know
ours
it
is
does.
green water.
Yeah. Because of the algae.
And not because of
It
St.
lasts
Patrick's
longer.
Day.
See, one thing about the green water, because of the algae, it lasts longer.
That's right.
It never goes bad.
It's been around for
It
millions
goes,
of years.
it goes around bad.
And the chlorine doesn't have to work.
The
as well.
chlorine doesn't have anything to do with it. Well, what do you think's going to happen in Florida tomorrow, Sensible Don?
I hope Newt wins, but he doesn't have the kind of money that your boy has, so I imagine he will lose down there.
Newt's crashing, baby.
Yeah, it crashes
It's
bad.
unbelievable how he could go from like 9 points up to 16 points down. in a
It's
week.
called money, Bobby. It's called
That's
money.
exactly right.
I can
And
get you a lick of $1 billion.
you know, but the people should react against that and not let somebody buy it.
The people don't think.
You're
Bobby.
right.
They're
You're
not
right.
thinking. They're not
say
thinking.
I say nude by 3.
New by 3.
Oh, I'll go for that.
Be all right.
Nude over the Giants.
Okay.
Nude over the
One
Giants.
quick question.
Minus
Who's your favorite country western star? Other than you,
Merle Haggard,
Merle Haggard,
George
you like
Jones.
You like his?
Yeah.
George
I like
Jones.
Merle. I like him.
Merle's one of my favorite
He
singers.
stopped loving her today.
I wrote a song. I wrote a song about George though. I wrote
That's
a
a
song
sad
called,
song. He stopped loving her.
Yeah, that was the all-time best country music song ever, probably. But I wrote a song called "When That Jones Boy's Gone."
When that Jones boy's gone,
Who's gonna fill his shoes?
who's going to fill his shoes?
When he stops loving her today, the blues will be bad news.
If you think you're lonely,
Who
now-
will take
And
his
it's on
place?
YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Who will take
But
his
George,
place?
Probably nobody.
There's-
But
There's nobody that's sad anymore.
no, nobody sings with that heart and soul feeling. There's some good.
You know, they
singers
say
out
to sing the blues, you got to have some bad things happen to you. I'd rather it not happen to me and suck as a blues singer.
there. Well, I've been writing a lot. I've been writing a whole lot lately. My next CD is going to be all songs that I wrote.
Okay,
So I'm
sounds good.
looking forward to getting.
Well,
that
we'll
done.
help you promote it. You can come back on and we'll
All
help you
right.
promote it.
All right.
And I'm gonna beg for a copy.
Good.
I love country music. What do you think about Ray Charles when he did a country album? What do you
Oh,
think
I loved it.
tell him Ray
hey,
Charles
yeah.
is genius.
Oh.
Do you
I
know Ray
can't
Charles
stop
isn't
loving
blind?
you.
He doesn't think he's
You
blind.
see, absolutely. I saw him.
We'll
right
be
off the
back
stage.
tomorrow with some radio superbity. Remember what I
Thank
say?
you, Bulldog.
Every dog has their day. Hope tomorrow's yours. Go to Bobby Mackey's this weekend
Thank you. Great
Thanks for
being
coming
here.
in, Bobby.
Appreciate it so much.
on Real Talk 1160.